Round of applause for my new friend, Sean Steele. Let's make some noise for Sean.
All right, how is everybody doing tonight? Welcome out to the comedy show. This is a great setup. I heard this is a brand new room. You guys did great. All I asked for this show was that we have nice covered curtains on the windows so we can keep the sunlight out and make it look like it's nighttime. And a nice stool to put my drink on. Oh well. 0 out of 2 is fine. How's everybody doing? This your first comedy show? Anybody? First show? Okay. Everybody's been to a comedy show. That's good. How's this going so far? Do I have any thrupples in the audience? Any thrupples? Don't be shy. Come on. Come on. J-Pop's got a whole thing about it. You're gonna want to get involved. I'm just looking around. See, I can tell. Oh yeah, I see. All right. Well, I'm not gonna embarrass you guys, but they're over here. Oh my God. And folks, comedy's hard. It's not easy to get up in front of a big crowd. You guys are a great crowd. I heard we sold 100 tickets. Hell yeah! Give yourselves a round of applause. Sometimes it doesn't go well. We do our best, but sometimes these sets don't work out. I did one a couple of weeks ago. I thought it went okay. A woman pulled me to the side afterwards. She's like, Sean, I love you, but it wasn't very good. I mean, maybe she had a point, but shouldn't a mother be more supportive? Alright, so, thank you. Check mark on that one, score, that's 1 point. Okay. Anyone scored? Bill, I got 1 point. I recently hit a big milestone in life. I turned 50. It was 7 years ago. I really got to come up with a better way of saying that. Look, I know well, let's do this. Let me tell you something about myself. I'm bald. Yeah. However, there are advantages to being bald people with hair never think about. Yeah. I have a way better chance of getting away with murder. I'm not leaving hair fibers behind the scene for the CSI guys to find. If I could just figure out what to do with the semen, I'd be home free. Okay, so you got, they're cool, we got that, right? That's a litmus test joke right there. I do know what I look like, all right? I mean, I look like Lex Luthor if he didn't really have his mark on it, right? You know? Or maybe like, maybe more like X-Men fans. I look kind of like Professor X, who realizes that all anyone thinks about all day is porn. And maybe I look a little bit like Bruce Willis if he needed 3 blue pills to be with Demi Moore. I don't know about that last one. That's not really flattering on myself, is it? I think that went through. Thanks, Bill. Bill just gives me suggestions and I write them down and then I do them. Oh gosh. When you get to be my age, which by the way, if you did the math, is 57, they tell me that's middle age. How long am I supposed to live? Sign up for that. Oh gosh. But so look, does anyone here go to the gym and work out a lot? This guy does. I can tell. Yeah. No, he's naturally like this. Yeah. Well, you know when you're at the gym and you see somebody do something really athletic, and you think to yourself, "Screw that guy." That's how I feel when someone can just bend over and tie their shoes with no effort. Also, let's face it, when we get in the bedroom, you're not 25 anymore. Right? Sex with me is now BYOO. Bring your own orgasm. You'll enjoy it a lot better. Look, it's not a roller coaster ride anymore. It's more like a whitewater rafting trip, right? Which is still fun. But we both have to paddle. I did that joke in front of my wife recently, and she informed me that she's been paddling for quite some time. Yeah. I've been married for 32 years. You talk to that. A large part of that is because I don't really like moving, but no, seriously, my wife. Anybody here been married a long time? Let me see. Come on. How many years? Braggers. I don't know. How about over here? You got to think about that for a second. And you got, oh yeah, yes. And do you guys get married in Buffalo? Yeah. He's wearing a Sabres hat. How's that Series day right now? Not good? We can't let Canada have hockey. We took it from the Olympics. We can't give it back. Come on. When's the last time Canada won the Stanley Cup? Like 1937 or something like that? Anyway. All right, we're getting off tangent here. Well, being married. Yeah, when you're married that long, these people know, and some of you who are too shy to tell me how long you've been married, it's the gifts. Think about it. Every birthday, Christmas, anniversary, you're supposed to come up with something amazing. That's not easy, right? Can we put that like an Olympic cycle? Like we have a birthday every 4 years, stagger it out, make it really. So I do my best, but 2 years ago I got her a beautiful, beautiful piece of jewelry. I was so proud of myself. She opened it up. I got this one. It's not good. She calmly got up from the table, walked into the bedroom, came back with her jewelry box. Opened the jewelry box. You see where this is going. Pulled out the exact same piece of jewelry. I doubled down and went, who gave you that? You're laughing, but that was the wrong thing to say. So I gave it some thought, and from now on, what I've done, and then ever since that time, is I just give her a nice card, always take some care, pick out a good one, and put a beautiful handwritten note in that card. And it says something to the effect of, I won't bother you for sex for 2 weeks. She's happy, I'm off the hook. However, this has opened up some time in my schedule, 5 to 15 minutes a week. I know some of you are going, 15, that's not bad at a guy your age. There's a lot of stretching involved. Yeah, we don't just dive right in. I'm not pulling a hamstring. I don't know. But anybody else like that? Like, remember when you were young and you were so excited if you were gonna score, and now you're thinking, I'm gonna take my clothes off. I have to get in the bed. Is the bed warm? There's gonna be laundry. You know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. Yeah, they know what I'm talking about, right? It's a lot. You got to think about this stuff. It's not just the time; it's all the other things that go into it, right? I'm gonna have to get back up. The remote might not be here. Are the cats in here? Anybody else have pets like that? Like they know when it's that time, and they just come running, and they're like, plop. They're like, hey, what's going on? What are we doing? Oh, a show? We used to have to lock the door to keep the kids out, now it's the pets. It's not great, but what were we talking about? Oh, the card, yeah. So here's the thing, I freed up some time, and I got front rows, right up here, front row. Don't you dare go looking back there, right here. You're late. No. When you're late, everyone with me, let's get these people up here. Come on. If I were a decent sort, I would just let them quietly slide in, but we're not going to do that. Hi, welcome. Why are you late? Oh, so your meal was more important than you've missed the best part of the show already. It's all downhill from here. You guys, what's your names? You speak for her? Yeah. It's one of those couples, okay. I'm going to leave you guys alone for now. We'll come back to you. Welcome David and Sarah. They were at dinner. So you know what I did to fill up this time, this void in my life? I took up karate. Yeah, that's a good idea at 56, right? What could go wrong? But here's the thing. You guys familiar with these places like Karate America, the places in the strip mall? Anyone own Karate America or stock in Karate America? Okay, good. Gotta be careful. Here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with those places, but they're kind of they're like play karate. You go there, you write them a check every month, and they give you another belt. They've even made up colors. They've got like mauve you stick with it and go to the classes and write that check every month, you will wind up with a black belt. But do you know karate? That's a dangerous thing to think you know karate, because that can get you in trouble. So I didn't want that to happen to me. So I did a lot of research, and I found this older Japanese gentleman who lived relatively close to me. He's like, Sean, I got you. I can teach you the ancient ways. I was excited, but it turned out to be a big scam. That old dude just wanted his house painted. I caught on when he had me wax him on and off. Like the third time. Like, this isn't going anywhere. Yes, it is. No. Oh, gosh. So, so that didn't really work out. But switching gears a little bit here. Do I have any other 80s kids? Any people who grew up in the 80s, formative years, okay? All right, now. In the 80s, we didn't skip comedy shows to go to dinner. That was frowned upon. I don't know if you remember that. No, it was, actually, in the 80s, we comedy shows, they served food. There's that. They have a point. The 80s were a crazy time. And it's not our fault that we grew up and developed the way we were. Let's be fair. The role models? Do you know who taught us about dating, how to treat women? America's dad, Bill Cosby. Bill did time for that advice. Hope we don't have any followers of Bill in here. Also, remember in the middle of the 80s, for no reason whatsoever, they changed the formula for Coke, and it was terrible. Remember that? That's a weird coincidence. Was the Coca-Cola company changed the formula for their soda as well, right around the same time? Ooh, that was pretty bad too. At least we got that back. Do you remember the 80s is before 9/11, right? So remember at the airport how you could walk your girlfriend all the way up to the plane, right up to the gate. You could basically put her in her seat if you wanted to. Yeah, and you could beg her not to leave you that whole time. Now, if you don't get that done in the car, she's gone. How many relationships have been lost because of that? When I was kidding, anyone get into the moon thing we did, the Artemis mission that we just had? Anyone excited about that? I was. I'll admit, I'm a nerd, and I got excited about that. But here's the thing: I started watching it. Was saying that we were going to the moon is not accurate. We drove by the moon. Don't you remember those family vacations when you were a kid when you would drive by something that looked really cool, and your dad would go, "We'll go there next time." You never went back. I still haven't been to Knott's Berry Farm. We drove by there 47 years ago. I don't think my dad's taken me. But I did think the moon mission was pretty cool, except for the fact that when we're being honest about it, we're all getting excited about something that we accomplished 57 years ago. A lot of cool things happened 57 years ago, don't get me wrong. Some people were paying attention. But, think about it though, back that would be like, say it's 1968. Do you think they had reporters out at the airport going, "Look at that! That plane just took off and took flight and it's off to wherever"? I don't think they did that. That's a Wright Brothers joke. Okay. They can't all be winners. How long is this set, by the way? Nobody told me. They just said, "Get up here and start talking." We do have a lot of other great comedians, but you're not getting them for a while. I've still got more to say. We were talking about the 80s. So in the 80s, we had this cool idea about space travel. We decided it was like routine, right? People got bored with it. Remember, shuttle went up again. Who cares? So they decided to spice things up, and they were going to put civilians into space. Some of you who are younger won't remember this because the first thing we did was put a teacher on the space shuttle and send it up there. It was not a long trip. Look, I didn't do it. Blame those guys at NASA, they warned them. Anyway, so we stopped doing that. We decided, it turns out space travel is very dangerous, and maybe it should be left to professionals who know the risks. But also in the 80s, I was a senior in high school that year. That happened in 1986, which is 40 years ago if you're doing the math. And I wanted to be Scorsese. First of all, they told me I was too tall for that. I don't know if you've ever seen Martin. Martin's a little dude. All right, that joke sucks. But so I went to NYU. Anyone familiar with New York University? Yeah, and they had I don't know if they still do, but they had a great film school. That was a lot of famous people went there. So I wanted to go there. That was my dream. NYU did not share this dream with me. I got on the wait list, and I still haven't heard anything. Maybe this year. But I did get to go visit NYU. Remember those college visits? You know, and you go see cool places you were never going to get into. Yeah, I did that with NYU. I went with my mom, and my mom's no longer with us. So this is I like telling this story because it's a fun story that everyone has about their mom. You know, the one where your mother almost got you killed, right? Most people would say they left you in a hot car because back then you were totally allowed to do that. You know, I mean, just put the radio on and go shopping. You know, the kid didn't make it; he wasn't tough enough. No, yeah, the '80s. But here's the thing: my mom took me to New York, and we're coming out of the hotel one day. There's this commotion, and they're putting up all the barricades, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And the cop says to me, "The president's in town. He's going to speak at the UN." And my mother got all excited, she's like, "Oh," because she was an avid photographer, so she wanted to get a picture of the motorcade coming by. So she gave me one of her cameras, sent me to the other side of the street, says, "Just start taking pictures when they come by." Well, we're on the street corner, and the limousine comes right in front of me, stops as close as you are to me right now. That limousine stops right there, the crowd starts going crazy, waving, window starts to come down, and there's Ronald Reagan. Waving to everybody, you know, he knew a moment, he had that whole presidential thing down. People are going nuts. I get ready to take his picture, I can't believe my luck. My mother decides from across the street to start yelling at me at this moment. Shoot him, take the shot, Sean, you got him! Secret Service is really, really good at their job. I was face down on the ground, I didn't know what was going on. They had one arm behind my back, they took the camera. It felt like an hour, but it was like 10 seconds later, the guys tasked with was kid, you're not gonna get a picture? And I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, the lens cap's still on this thing. Story has a happy ending. Reagan saw what was going on. He called over his detail and said, I couldn't hear the conversation, but I could kind of figure it out. What he basically was saying was, go ahead and let that woman up off the ground over there on the other side of the street. My mother, she didn't mean any harm. And then he waved me over. And he put his arm around me and said, would you like a picture? And I'm like, yeah. The presidential seal was right in between us, and they snapped that picture. And that photograph still hangs in my parents' house to this very day. Yeah. So I didn't get to NYU, but I mean, I think I was a real winner there. Who needs an education? That's overrated. I actually did end up going to Sarah Lawrence College. Anyone familiar with Sarah Lawrence College in New York? No? I'm not going to talk about it because you all know anything. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, gosh. Let's switch gears. We're all here in Florida. Did you see this study the University of Florida did pretty recently where they wanted to get to the bottom of what causes alligators to attack human beings? They studied 847 separate attacks. And shockingly, 96% could all be traced back to the same root cause. Fucking with alligators. Don't do that. Yeah. Think about it, that's a publicly funded school. You paid for that study. I could have saved them a lot of money and I could have told them that one. Oh gosh, you guys have been a lot of fun. You guys ready for a good show? You ever consider maybe doing this at night? You know, just a thought in the future. Comedy sometimes does work better at night. You know, Jim Gaffigan, Jim Gaffigan likes the lunch crowd. That's a bad example, but most of them like at night. But so I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Something I haven't told you about myself yet. I haven't had an alcoholic beverage for over 27 months. Yeah, thank you. I told the audience that last night, and they groaned like, you should go back to it. I thought that was pretty rude. But here's the thing. It was time, and I did it for the right reasons. Does anyone else in this room know what 15 Jaeger bombs will cost you? your marriage. It will cost you your marriage, folks. Don't do that. Oh my God. You guys have been great. I'm going to bring up your next comedian. Thank you so much. She is a very funny person. She was like our 9th choice to fill this role today. Yeah. She did not know that, by the way. I'm exaggerating. It was like a tie for 3rd, and she was the first one who got back to us out of that group. But we got very lucky because we got the best one. I absolutely love her. She is so funny. Please, give